Abusuya from Mamu Bibia Kwaba and from the 2K News and Blogs. Mr. Any day the Kaya OTA and I will share Mr. Sober subscribe my this channel. Nabiums watch and all the comments and so out to comment section who adia may Sado for open politics on some etia and fanfa baby Mr. Odebefe 2K News and Blogs. Mr. Ene Asme de Babesumo Kennedy Agyapong Emel call vetting by in summer, Yibisa no be in or the about or Becca Adiache Ghana my other forming person Casabet in Mummy and Corny Kutin Semi Famra.
Second time coming to such a vetting, was it any different from the first time you came?
No, not really. I was prepared, so I believe I answered all the questions, and they know I'm ready to be president of this country. Yeah.
What were your major takeaways from today's session?
So they really wanted to know why I want to be president and my vision for the country, as well as the party.
Okay.
So I enumerated a couple of points and how I'm going to address some problems. So basically that was the interview. They know I've been through and through party man for so long. So I didn't face any serious questions, or they didn't antagonize me because they know my potential already. But they asked tangible and reasonable, I would say reasonable questions. They were not hostile to me, and I was free to answer their questions.
I imagine your plan to use the Asian model to develop Ghana.
I said it there too. I told them and explained what I mean by Asian model. I have seen some proof. Let me explain further. The Asian model, what they did that time when they decided to compete with Europe and America was that they identified potential talents and potential businessmen and funded their projects like Daewoo, Hyundai, Samsung in Korea, for instance. They made conscious efforts to support them by giving them loans. And the loans, what they did was that if Mr. Honorable Kwaku Kwarteng decides to build this building, they will ask for the cost of the raw materials and where he's going to get the raw materials from. The government then sends the money to the company manufacturing the raw materials. And they will give you a couple of months. If you tell them the imports or your raw materials or whatever equipment you're going to use will arrive in 3 months. In 3 months, the following week, 3 months, 1 week, we are there to inspect if indeed you receive the equipment. Now, what they do is that the government partners the individual, the private sector. So they win themselves off when you finish paying the loan. Then it becomes your business. And in business, the most difficult part is the capital. So if government supports you to get the capital and you run it well, you become a millionaire. This is how they've been able to expand their businesses. India, Dubai, all the Asian, that is how the model they use. And I think because Ghana, we don't have capital for our businesses. Set up businesses, initially they are very tough. They lack finance. The equipment. Now, what they do is that the government partners the individual, the private sector. So they win themselves off when you finish paying the loan. Then it becomes your business. And in business, the most difficult part is the capital. So if government supports you to get the capital and you run it well, you become a millionaire. This is how they've been able to expand their businesses. India, Dubai, all the Asian, that is how the model they use. And I think because Ghana, we don't have capital for our businesses, set up businesses initially.
Invited to attend. I attended with Kennedy Agyapong, who has been going around the country, the universities, talking about entrepreneurship to the youth. Why they have to be engaged in entrepreneurship and not to rely on government to employ them. That has gone down well. So we're here today. I mean, he's a practical leader. And around this time, it's such that during the time, our time, the things we learn at school are more theoretical. Now we have to apply what we have learned, and Kennedy is that sort of person who has applied what he's learned from school and has been successful. So coming out and then actually telling his own story, just as the gentleman I spoke about, I think he's the founder of ISEP. Telling the youth such stories empowers them. The youth, they need role models around, and the role models actually motivate them. So it's not just the national service. I think the national service, as we go along, should be more innovative, where you actually get to know. It's more like an internship, where you get to work in certain areas. However, it's not the things that you learn in school alone that can actually propel you to get somewhere. So the national service, I think, is basically to actually give you that confidence, the working environment and all that. So in the nutshell, it is good. But within that, the space that you actually learned shouldn't be a comfort zone. You need to explore, research more, and then work in other avenues. Because you see, our politics has gone to the sense, it's gotten to the extent that most people do not believe in politicians now. Okay, hitherto my party, NPP, was up there, and then NDC was below us. But now, maybe we are par, or maybe they might be slight above it. But then we think that we have the best ideologies. The capitalist approach, where the private sector is the engine of growth, whereas the NDC, the social democrats, where you rely on the state to do certain things for you. But my party, I believe, has even done the job of the NDC, where NHIS, the free education, and then Anakufado and all the whatnot. All these projects are what social interventional things, projects or programs, where it should have been the job of the NDC. But the NPP came in and did it. So I think that we're the best political party to actually move Ghana forward. But then the confidence that people have lost in political parties now calls for personality. And that personality is Kennedy Agyapong, to actually come in with that political revolution for people to understand that yes, there are leaders in the country that can move it. Kwame Nkrumah has done it. We have country Lee Kuan Yew, Chairman Mao, and then Jerry Rawlings came in, yes, through the barrel of the gun. I didn't say he gave us that economic emancipation, but through that we've had stability within our system, because before he came there were so many coup d'etats. I'm not saying that economically he did so well for us, but maybe we got